Welcome back, everybody. This is Justin with Calvary Chapel RV Travelers, and we're still in Brandenburg Cemetery here in Chesterfield, Indiana. Very beautiful cemetery, very stylish. People had very, well, I don't even know what to say. It's just awesome artwork of some of these stones, and the etchings in these stones are some of the best I've ever seen. And if you're not familiar with the history of this cemetery, it was started in 1836, and back there in the far corner, you can't see it from here, but the very first occupant was 18 years old. His name was Isaac Brandenburg, and when he died at 18, his father buried him in the back corner, overlooking a knoll, overlooking the valley. Those trees weren't there at the time, and this whole area was farmland. And so, and then shortly after that, they had there was two infant little girls that died, his daughters, and they buried them by their brother. And then soon after that, more and more. And by the time they opened this place up to the public in 1975, there was over 136 of the family members buried here, mostly in that back corner, but then you've got them all over here. So by far, there's a lot more than that now. But we're not here to talk about that family today. I'm here to talk about a young man. And as you watch most of my videos, I should call this channel Cut Short, because I really focus on the people that have died before their time. And what I mean by that is borrowed time is after about the age of 70. And so these people I report on and talk about are normal, everyday people that, unlike some of the other YouTube channels, which I love all of those, I think one of my favorite is Faces of the Forgotten. Ron is the narrator of that, and he does really cool, bizarre videos, and he travels to those locations. My wife and I are just traveling across the US. We retired, and 2 months ago we sold everything, and we're just out here. And as we're looking at the sites of like Mount Rushmore and and the Ark Encounter in Kentucky, which we'll be going to in a couple months, I go to cemeteries, and my wife says, have at that. And so we were just very blessed that our campground is just over the hill right there. And so it took me literally 60 seconds to drive up here and park from where we're camping at. And it's called Our Journey Campground, if you ever want to, here in Chesterfield. I think it's literally in Anderson, actually, considered Anderson, because once you drive up the hill and you turn left to come to the cemetery, it turns into Chesterfield. So if you want to camp there and come and look at some of these stones, there's so much history here. I found so much stuff that is just, we're leaving in about 5 days. And so I'm not going to be able to get doing videos to everybody I saw here, which I would love to do because there's so much. But I wanted to focus our attention on another young man that died before his parents. Jimmy and Gloria Lynn both died, and Gloria died in 2002, as you can see there, and Jimmy died in 2005. It looks like they were churchgoers according to the stones. You do see sometimes, like over here at Rock Hill, people will put a cross on there, and that really doesn't mean anything. It just means that they had a belief of some sort. But when you spend the time to design a stone like this, it actually has a church on it, and most likely it's a pretty good speculation, of course, that they were churchgoers. The interesting thing about this one is they died, Jimmy died on the 24th of June and Gloria died on the 25th of June. There's two different years, of course, but not too far apart. They were married a long time. But then here, Kevin, their son, died in 1999. And, like I've said before, to bury a child is rough. I mean, that's a big deal. I've never done it, and I hope I never have to. I cremated my nephew. He was only 25 when he died of fentanyl poisoning. But and if you don't know, if this is the first time you're watching this channel, I've been working as a funeral director and licensed cremationist. Some parts of the country call that a retort operator or whatever, but I did go to a 2-day class to learn how to push a button. But even though that's a little more in depth than that, it still requires a license. But hey, so I wanted to report on Kevin a little bit here. He died in a car accident early one morning, and he actually died of multiple traumatic injuries. And the death certificate states that he died at 12:01 a.m. on the 18th of July. So I mean, when I see that, and I've seen death certificates, so many. Basically, that's what the state patrol is guesstimating. So he could have died the day before, like, late that night, or on the way to the hospital in the ambulance. They pronounced him dead. There's all kinds of reasons why that's that way, but anyways, it does say he died at 12:01 a.m. on the 18th, and there was an autopsy performed. And most car accidents, they will do that with just to make sure that there wasn't any alcohol involved. And according to the death certificate, there was no alcohol involved. He was driving on a secluded road, and it was State Road 32 in Farmland, Indiana. And Farmland, if you don't know much about it, only has 1,333 people as a population as of right now. So back then, 25 years ago, they might have had maybe 900 at the time, or it could be about the same. In other words, a very small, tiny town. And those roads out there, I've driven these roads out here for the past couple of weeks. They're narrow. They're very narrow, and it gets dark out there. And he could have overcompensated. There's a lot of things that could have happened. But to lose a child, and it looks, when you're still alive and you lose a child, it's devastating. According to his headstone here, looks like he had a dog named Bear, and he was really into car racing. We don't know what happened. I just would like to think that he wasn't going above the speed limit, but the death certificate didn't say anything about that, and usually it does. It'll say due to speeding, due to alcohol, and there was nothing about that on there. It just said it just had two things listed, that it was due to the car accident and multiple traumatic injuries. And so, there's other Garretts here that have passed away, and it looks like it could have been a grandparent, or I don't know. No, it's definitely not a grandparent, because it looks like his well, I don't even know if Jimmy and them were his parents, but they could have been, since Kevin was born in 1962, but they were born in 1935 and 1939, so it's very possible they were in their 30s when they had him. But I'm not sure who these people are, but looks like they are a Garrett as well. They died after Jimmy, and so, or Jimmy, excuse me, they died. They did die after Jimmy, but they died after Kevin, and they could have been an aunt and an uncle of some sort. But either way, this family lost a son and a nephew at that age, and so let's look here. Parents of Teresa and Rick. So it most likely was an aunt and uncle. Let's look on the back of this headstone to see. Yep, they're the parents of Kim and Kevin. And so definitely was the parent here. And it looks like there's an engraving here. I love this. I really love this. It's a poem, When I'm Gone. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glitz of snow on snow. Okay. I am the sunlight and ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you have awakened in the morning hush, I am swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in the circle flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. That is so cool. And this looks like this was him and his dog. Somebody placed that there, and you know, this is another case where these 3 plots were purchased, and he was most likely the first one to be purchased, and then mom and dad were there, and I don't know who would be here next. They may move that over in front of his right here on the grass, but there's 3 plots purchased. So, you know, it's just keep his family in prayer, okay? And who's left, and it's rough to lose somebody like that. All right.